Hello and welcome to Frog Appendix. Today we are working on this one, so the L403A1 from VFC, extremely nice GBBR. I recorded a video about the barrel wobble already, and I said that, of course we will convert it to HPA, what could happen to the gun, right? And this Frog Appendix will be dedicated to this topic because there is one special thing that you need to be doing here, which will be regarding the trigger guard. Apart from this, it's a regular VFC V3 type gun with steel bolt carrier, which makes absolutely no difference for the conversion assembly. So if you order a conversion for this one, you just follow the regular manual for the assembly with the V3 update. Right now, these valves that are included in the magazines, this is explained in the V3 appendix, they are with steel core, and it's not possible to modify the amount the valve opens, let's say. But I am using a V3 valve here in this gun, the latest one, the steel core valve, and it works just fine. It works really nice. I think the tolerances and generally tightness of the whole system from VFC is really improved compared to the older V3 guns, so I really like it. Okay, anyway, let's take the upper off. You see here I have the conversion attachment points done exactly the same way as in all other VFC guns, So like I said, just follow that manual. The only difference for the disassembly is this left-handed bolt catch release, let's say, and you need to remove it, So it goes under this black cover here. It's very simple. You just push out those two pins here. These are tiny roll pins. They go to the inside of the gun, so you just push them out, take the cover off. You are able to remove this lever together with the other one, and then you perform regular conversion assembly. Nothing special. Okay, but now this trigger guard. So obviously this trigger guard is different from the regular types from Frog Engineering, because in the regular AR15 type guns, the trigger guard goes inside to the body. So the body of the gun, the receiver is around the trigger guard, reaching out from these sides, and there is a screw attachment in the front, right? Here we have a special dedicated shape, and the difference is that the trigger guard reaches on the sides, over the part of the receiver, and front is just a shape that you fit in, and you like it holds on this shape. There is no screw attachment in the front. Obviously, I'm showing the single part right now. When you order the conversion, it would be already pre-assembled on the hose. It has a special dedicated color matched with Magpul furniture, so I will be replacing this stock VFC pistol grip with this nice Miad that is already modified, and I'll explain you how to modify the gun in order to be able to use this kind of trigger guard. Okay, so first we will remove the pistol grip. It will be easier to show it. There is nothing special about this step, just unscrew it, okay, and you can take it off. One new thing here is that VFC finally started to use the original AR15 design pistol grips with a long spring for the selector pin hold, right? So usually it was like the plastic here was covering this hole, there was like no hole, and the spring was very short, so always in the grips you needed to fill it out. You see, actually I filled it out in this one with some putty, modeling putty, because I taken it out from another gun, but I will drill the hole back so that this spring can go in. So this is, let's say, nice change. Now all the real firearm pistol grips will fit one-to-one to the VFC GBBRs, I understand. Okay, and don't lose the pin that is in there. If you have trouble to take it out, you can pull it out with a magnet. And now the interesting part, so the trigger guard. To remove it, it's pretty simple. You just push in this button here, and you will be able to pull it off, like that. It's pretty heavy compared to this one, but generally you see the idea. So the same shape in the front, and you hook it in like so, and then lock it to the rear. However, here we have some difference. The original trigger guard has these sides. Obviously this one is bigger because the hose has to pass through it, but we did not do the opened profile here. Yeah. Why is this? Because honestly, like, this is a 3D printed part from resin. To increase the robustness, we joined the sides of that trigger guard with this bottom surface here. It will be more robust. The consequence is that you will need to file from this side a part of this attachment, yeah, because it will not lock completely. If you want to avoid it, filing I mean, you can cut off this like rectangular shape here that joins these two sides, but it's on you, yeah. Like, I think it will not be so robust, so I recommend you file it from the metal part. Anyway, you see that the fitting here was not so good apparently, and they had to file it because the paint is missing here, yeah. So probably on VFC side is what this was not perfect. Okay, so now the trigger guard is taken out. There will be one more thing that we need to take out, and this is actually this button. So now if we look from this side, there is a screw, and this is very simple. We just remove the screw like so. It goes out, yeah. And now we are able to push this pin out together with its spring. Okay, and we have the bare interface. Okay, so the rear part, I started to explain. We will need to file the top surface down, yeah. The thickness of this portion here on the trigger guard is 1.2 millimeters. So filing 1.2 millimeters of this surface should be enough, yeah, then the trigger guard will lock. But the next thing that you will need to do is obviously the hose has to pass through it, yeah. So if I rotate it to this orientation, you see there is a hose hole in the trigger guard on both sides, on this side and also on this side. And if I put it here, you see this is like completely obscured, yeah. So on both sides, through the middle, you will need, so this is the front side, this is the rear side, you will need to make a groove 6 millimeters diameter in the middle so that the hose could pass. On the rear, it should be, let's say, tangent to this surface after the removal of that 1.2 millimeters, like I said. You can always make it a bit bigger, it will not be an issue whatsoever, yeah. And on the front, you see, you can see that there is already part of the hole visible, but this is 1.5 millimeters, so you need to do at least 4.5 millimeters more, okay? So I believe this is kind of clear what needs to be done. Enough of talking, I will modify these parts and I will show you the result. It will be obvious then how it should be, and I will take a trigger guard which already has the hose inside, so that you already can see how it fits and it will all start to make sense to you. And here you can see how this is modified. So like I said, you see there is the groove, 6 millimeters diameter, and also here, so that the hose now, when I will connect it, will fit into the groove, yeah. Here it will maybe be even easier to just, like, when this is a complete metal part, to like drill a hole through it and then file from the top, yeah, it would be less work. I did the hole cut from the actually bottom side, yeah, and here I also went like this, yeah. Right, now what we can do, this is how the trigger guard on the hose will look like, yeah? So this is what you get with the conversion kit, basically, yeah. We can pre-bend this a little, it will be easier to connect it, and the length should be just fine to be able to push it into this connector on the bottom here. Okay, it went in nicely, and now I can rotate the trigger guard in the position and it fits practically perfectly. Okay, and the rest of the assembly will be just like any other hose in any other AR15 type gun conversion. So I already have my MIAT grip, as I said, you know, I'll put the hose through. Okay, still before I tighten these screws here, because with the kit for the L403A1 you will get 2 screws instead of 3, yeah, the headless and 3 times 5 screws, because we don't have the attachment point in the front anymore, yeah. So what we have is just the hole here and on the other side, and we will catch the trigger guard later with these 2 screws, screw it in. And the screws are to be retained in the material of the trigger guard, yeah. So there is no thread on the receiver side, there is no need to create one. Actually the holes are bigger, one is 3mm diameter and the other already has the 4mm diameter thread, but this is completely not necessary. We will screw these in. I will do it in a second, but first I will attach my pistol grip completely, and by this I mean, you know, the spring and the pin for the fire selector and then the main screw. A standard thing doing off screen. So I already secured it. So we take the first one and always apply some glue to these screws because they like to fall out because of vibration. Okay, so the first one went in. You want it to just be flush with this surface here, yeah? Don't squeeze the hose unnecessarily. Rotate the gun to the other side and repeat. Okay. Now the hose is nicely secured with the trigger guard, and for this video we are done. Of course I still need to attach the protection spring with the sleeve and the connector, but this is standard. The only difference was here. I think I showed it pretty clearly what you need to do. So now thank you for the attention. That's the end of this Frog Appendix. Let's make a lot of these L403s on HPA. They will be awesome GBBRs, I'm sure. Thank you for watching. Hit the like, subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the notification bell, all the good stuff, and may the power of GBBR without the upper receiver be with you. Brr.